looking good against Lunatic High yesterday.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Misfits were tactically quite good, actually, and for 4 days of practice, that was good. Obviously, it's a team that's been together for 4 years, up against a team that's been together for 4 days on a control point map, so obviously King to Kill, brawling it out. It's pretty hard to overcome that kind of synergy there, even if it's implied and not actually something that's, you know, permeable or, you know, manifests physically. Either way, second map coming up real quickly. I just want to point out that you see Arhan, he's changing, he's trying a lot of different things. He's not stuck on that diva like he was against Envious in the finals, but I think it's fine to be a flexible team, right? AF Blue have made the changes to be more flexible league, but you still need to make those flex comps or those different comps work for you. If you're not nailing the fundamentals, it doesn't matter what you're playing, you're not going to win.
It seems like they're scrambling, yeah, scrambling for ideas at the moment, maybe trying to figure it out, and that's maybe what they're still trying to build, trying to figure out the team composition. We talked about the fact that they are probably, what, a week, maybe 2-week-old team at best. So still, they haven't had too long to practice themselves either. Afreeca Freecs on your screen right there. But we are moving on to Ilios. We saw it in action yesterday, of course. Actually, looking earlier on today, Energy doing very well on it because they used good old Seagull on his Pharah once again. Pharah is a hero that can work well on this map. Well, especially on well. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Ilios, Lunatic High versus Afreeca Freecs Blue. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the semi-finals, set number 2, about ready to start on the wonderful Ilios. It is well to begin with, and we are looking at a Pharah for Recry at the moment, and I reckon that's going to be stuck.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, Soldier 76 on this map is still a thing, right?
Yeah.
Especially on Well, where your effective range of Soldier 76 is pretty much exactly the, I guess, the cross-section of that middle area, that quadrangle, the square, we'll call it, right? So it's really, really good for Soldier 76. He can stay relatively safe while getting maximum damage output. So Pharah, we see it from Recry. We need to respect that. There's also, of course, an Ana that can still really make it tough for the bird.
Yeah, it's Esker also on Soldier 76. Something we should make clear. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's done all right in his time. Obviously, Overwatch World Cup winner as well, amongst many other accolades. Arhan getting sneaky around the back here, and that's what he's having to deal with at the moment, which is buying time for Recry to lay that damage down. So he's not going to focus at all. Gets the damage around the back there. Jaehong manages to get himself the kill along with Miro. And that is just going to be all she wrote for Afreeca Freecs. Recry or not, well, you can't do a lot when the rest of your team have been picked off.
Right, but he could have maybe done more up until that point, right? The whole reason why Arhan is flanking is to keep Esker busy. So there's only Dean that's really looking over at Recry, only the Ana to really deal with the Pharah. So Recry needs to use that period of time. You can see he's done a lot of damage, right? 93%. Almost has that barrage, but not getting kills, not getting knockoffs, environmental kills. That's what needs to happen there if Arhan is going to die like this to try and keep him alive.
Yeah, it's all about those concussive blasts, trying to knock them into the well, trying to get them off the side there. And that's what he's going to try and do. Because he's getting around the side there, trying some long-range hits. He has got barrage ready and waiting to go, but not in any position whatsoever to make use of that at the moment.
You're feeding support ults right now as Recry, so you really eventually want to get up close and get some real damage done.
That concussive blast he just used, that was going to hit no one. I don't know where he was aiming with that one.
I was hoping to knock them forward into the well, but it's a little bit too deep.
Oh, and there's going to be a pulse bomb. That could be a good round the back. He does manage to catch one. Arhan gets himself a quick double there. Toby and Esker going down. There's the barrage. That is exactly what they needed. That barrage getting dumped on the head of Taejan. And that is going to be the final kill. Miro will fall, and the point will flip to Afreeca Freecs.
Straight away, Esker says, okay, I guess the 76 isn't quite enough to deal with this now. So I want the flashbang to deal with Arhan quickly, deal with the flanker, but also still have that reliability at mid-range to get rid of Pharah. So this is more robust than 76 if you're dealing with Pharah and Tracer at the same time.
Yeah, just annoyed by that pesky flanking Arhan. There he is, just at the side. Arhan just got a glimpse of him, went, whoop, okay, McCree now. Get a single tap by that, and he'll certainly do the damage. Taejan also on the hunt as well. Look at this, checking for the damage, checking for the hit points he needs. The Graviton Surge to no avail. Quickly dealt with by the sound barrier from Toby. Esker manages to find himself one. That's going to be Amy going down there. Oh, good night. There goes Adam into the well. And of course, that will be Lunatic High flipping it back over. Now, how do they handle this? How do they adjust to the fact that there is now a McCree?
You take a Roadhog. Arhan plays Roadhog, or Recry does, right? You're playing a Tracer now into McCree and Roadhog. It's so hard to deal with. Look at Arhan, he gets taken down there. We see it on the kill feed, right? You have a Death Wish if you're still playing Tracer in this case. I really do feel. Maybe the Pharah not so great anymore, especially with the McCree. Get some tanks back in there. I know no one wants to see that, but it might be the option here.
Well, you can see Freecry not really getting a great deal. The rest of his team being picked off. The hook came through straight away on poor old Adam the second he came round, and he got dumpstered. And that, of course, means that it's going to be 82% and counting. This is Lunatic High. They're getting close to finishing this one. You can see Jaehung has himself the self-destruct ready. The second they try and challenge out on that point, he can just launch it straight into them. Dean has his ulti ready. There's going to be Recry. Barrage comes off. Now he gets himself Toby down there, but the Deadeye doesn't really find anything. Dean does get taken down by Recry as well. Arhan finally gets the flank on Eska. I think he had to use the pulse one to take him down. I tell a lie, he was just straight up shooting him, and they have managed to flip the point back again.
And going deep there for that kill on towards Miro. And Miro being the one who fell early in that fight was a bit of a tough one for Lunatic High. Now McCree needs a bit more babysitting than Soldier 76, right? So Eska picks McCree up, so I can deal with flankers. Can't really deal with a Tracer and Pharah when you have no shield or healing. So he does really need Miro to stay around and use so he can use that shield effectively.
Oh, you can see Arhan trying to get around the side there, gets away from that self-destruct. Jaehung actually picked up Recry with the self-destruct. Okay, I don't know how that works, how far it gets caught out from that.
It's hard to navigate in mid-air like that. You can't, if you don't have a concussive blast, it's hard to get away from that.
Yeah, you're just kind of stuck midway. And Amy and Arhan managed to pick themselves up a couple of kills, and this is going to be very close. It's going to be 99% game, both sides. Eska, you're going to get forced away from that one. Arhan picks him off, dead eye aim or not. And you can see, woof, very, very close. Jaehung gets away with his life.
Okay, so Tasia now switching over towards the Tracer here, really feeling that the Roadhog's maybe not sufficient given the presence of Pharah just knocking him around the map. So now he's going to try and play the Tracer here into this situation. He goes down straight away. The Recry finds him almost immediately here. It's 90% to 99. This could go south for Lunatic High if they don't retake real quick, but that's the Graviton coming in.
Yeah, feeling the McCree maybe not working. As the Earth Shatter comes down, Adam gets easily caught back up with that one, gets himself boosted up, and he gets taken down straight away by Recray once again from range. It's working finally here. Dean manages to get himself a pick, but that's about all it's going to be. The switch for Eska's not going to work. He went back over to the Soldier, and that's surely it. They just have to clear out Toby. Toby gets forced away. He's going to try and keep himself alive. Boops himself back in there just about, but that is it. Now he's cleared out, but now the respawn's come through. Miro back in there, instantly down from a barrage from Recry, and that is overtime ticking away. It's just about being kept alive by Tajan.
And that's going to be it. The first round going over towards AF Blue. Now, ironically enough, Lunatic High having some scary flashbacks back to the APAC finals against Rogue, where Tvic played that Pharah and they couldn't respond to that bird up high in the air. Ostensibly, like on the outside, looking at what Lunatic High did to respond to that Pharah presence seems reasonable, right? Take McCree, because Soldier 76 doesn't really want to deal with Pharah and Tracer at the same time. You use a Roadhog, and you've got your full suite of tools to deal with flankers. You can't have anything more than that, really. It still didn't work out, though, and that speaks volumes to the fact that Pharah now gets an extra 35% on her boost up. She's harder to hit. She gets up higher in the air, so if you can land those rockets, you're rewarded more for that because you can do damage from a safer distance. Also, Arhan, really, really nice Tracer. We might see a switch, though, in this second round.
Yeah, of course. I mean, sure, you get to see your Pharah working out there, but you can't use it on the other maps, and here we are on Lighthouse. You can't, well, I mean, you can kind of use it on Lighthouse.
It's closed top. That's why you don't sit on Sanctum on the pole either.
Yeah, you stick it around the side there. Arhan trying to go deep, gets around the backside, get himself a good charge actually there. Got a good chunk of damage built up along that ulti, but it's not enough. Miro also been picked off at the side there. Adam going down to him. It's a very even back and forth fight, but it's going to be Lunatic High that will come out on top. Desuited though, Mano forces him out there, forces him away. Amy not done just yet. It's a pretty much 3-on-2, I think, on point at the moment. Tasia gets around the side, should be able to deal with him. Blast to the face is what Mano didn't want to see, and Amy will get taken down. The Lunatic High come out in a very close exchange on the first fight.
Yeah, winning that first fight is important for them now, especially given that they managed to definitely get much more damage done than at AF Blue. Now, those ultimates are ticking along. Eska obviously going to get back in the suit, but the fact that he's playing D.Va is interesting, right? They're just going for full tanks in this situation. 4 tanks against AF Blue's lineup. That's why Arhan is playing that Reaper.
Yeah, he's making that switch, gone straight over to Reaper. Recry goes over to the Tracer, so quick adjustments after losing that first fight. Like to see that. Miro gets straight in there. Mano, sorry, takes down Miro. This is looking good for Mano. He's going to try and get some work done. You can see Jae Hung comes around the side. Sound barrier still running on him. Finally gets taken down, so you can see Graviton Surge already ready and waiting to go. Adam's got his Earth Shatter as well, but he didn't really need it as Toby gets blasted out the back door, and that will be a flip to Afreeca Freecs Blue.
And we're seeing AF Blue actually play a 2-2-2 comp into 4 tanks from the side of Lunatic High. So that's quite something in itself, a bit of a throwback to the days where we only had 2 tanks on teams, and they're super flexible, right? Reekry to hit the back line and really cause problems here to the supports, and then Arhan just to chunk down those tanks with the meat shots.
Well, he's going to get caught out. The Earth Shatter comes through, but Taesian takes him down before it really does the damage. It was the Graviton Surge used out by Mano, but there wasn't a great deal of follow-up there. Self-destruct coming down. They're caught in by the Graviton Surge, and that is all she wrote. Eska gets a quick and easy triple kill combined with Jae Hong, and now we see Miro charging in and pinning Reekry for the on the way through. That's what I like to see, a drive-by.
You don't see that every day. No, that was pretty nicely done there by Miro. Of course, Reekry wanted to also to be felled, I guess, to rejoin his team now for the next fight, but that Graviton was pretty massive. Obviously, Eska will never see him play Diva, but this is just something that Lunatic High have up their sleeve in terms of comp. We saw it from Misfits earlier yesterday as well. Pulse bombs there. This is what Arhan needs to be doing now. He needs to drop down. He needs to literally get the drops on these supports, on these tanks. Gets one before he takes a long walk over a short ledge, and it may not be enough here as well. Fight's going to continue. Miro gets on the day flight. He's got himself another one.
Yeah, I can see that's going to be simply talk and all she wrote. Reekry's going to try and get around, but Jae Hung's there to come around the side. Miro with the support as well, and it does force them away. 76% and counting for Lunatic High there. And that was a big ulti to be wasted, and we're already seeing Arhan make that switch. Goes over to the Soul 76 because he got booped off. It was a 1-for-1 trade between Toby and Arhan.
When you lose the first fight on a control point map, the next best opportunity in that round, oh, that's nasty, Arhan gets hooked in. Your next best opportunity is when you have ult advantage. That was just then from AF Blue, and they still lost the fight. They shouldn't win this round now, theoretically, but we'll see as Jae Hong is charged up and ready to go on this point.
Now, I don't know whether Adam was just kind of suiciding himself or he was trying to get a charge, but either way, he went out the window. It's a drive-by straight out the window. Easy hole from Lunatic High, and I'm pretty sure he was meaning to actually hit the wall and stay there, but he kind of got, I don't know whether he got booped maybe as he was getting towards it, but either way, it is going to be 1-1, all square in the Lighthouse. And Lunatic High looking a lot more solid this time around. Of course, the triple self-destruct kind of helped them quite heavily in their way, but it was all about that first fight, the initial fight. It was very, very tight between the two, and it's great to see the adjustments between these teams. They are adjusted so fast on the fly multiple times in these fights. Yeah,
so whether it's between maps or even between rounds, in this case, we have been seeing it there. We saw Lunatic High now go for very much a tank-stacked composition. And the 2-2-2 that we saw, you know, 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 DPS from AF Blue, actually made some headway against it, but it is very, very hard to navigate that. Look at this, though. This is a very aggressive, all-in dive comp from AF Blue. Tracer, Genji, Winston. They are going straight for the throat here because they know Lunatic High are so tanky, their best option is just to get their supports off the table, get rid of the healing, and then they can usually roll the rest of the fight in their favor. Yeah, the 4 tanks going around the side there. This could be sweet time for them if they can land the damage, if they can get enough down, if they can get enough chip at the start. And that's what they're trying to do. You can see Arhan with a flank. Nobody's really dealing with it. Nobody's looking towards him, and he gets an easy kill on Toby there. Just slices and dices his way through. Gets himself a second as he pushes around. You can see Dean's going to get picked off. That's a straightforward shuriken to the face, and now he's already got that Dragon Blade built up after the initial exchange. Beautiful. Right, so if you see Adam die a lot in this round, don't be too disheartened because this is very, very difficult territory for a Winston to navigate. Diva does so much damage when she gets up in your face, which is kind of what Winston wants to do anyway, and Taesian there is going to hammer you with a scrap gun. So Adam is purely there just to sow disarray in the backline and allow his flankers to get in there. But look at these changes now. Miro playing Winston, Eska going over towards the Reaper, and Taesian on the Tracer. A complete switch here from Lunatic High to address this composition from AF Blue. I already realising, wait, we found Arhan. Miro's going to get straight on him, but he's going to have to be able to jump away from that one. You can see Tracer going to be flying through there from Taesian. Not going to be enough. Toby, you're in no man's land here. You've gone way too deep on this one, and you can see Dragon Blade. That was all too tasty for Arhan. But of course, there's been these changes to the Zarya. You don't get the quick and easy pop on that bubble. He has to get the 2 swings. Wasn't quite enough. It does mean they get away, but Lunatic High forced back into base and just about hanging on with their own lives. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that very briefly, of course. Now, Dragon Blade doesn't do as much damage to his Zarya because they changed how the shield works. Normally, 1 swing counted as 2 hits of damage because it counted the shield and Zarya and applied all the damage to Zarya herself. Now it's just a 1 tick per shot, the way it should be, and that means it's a little bit harder to pop here like that. Yeah, you don't get those free and easy kills. Reekry, though, will, and that's going to be Dean going down. This is looking like it's all just
just one-way traffic at the moment, 58% and counting, 2-0. Lunatic High yet to get close, but now they're going to get a bit of a build-up. Miro has to back away, Jaehong will go down. They're going to be slowly edging towards those ultis, but because they have been making these fast adjustments, they haven't got that big ult build-up that you get often around the 70% marker, so they're still in desperate trouble.
Yeah, they've got 3 ultimates to work with here and a pulse bomb rotation, so Big Bang may not be far away here. We'll see if it can create something even better now, but the pulse bomb's going to come in, doesn't really connect onto anything at all, and Mano's being pressured here on the point.
Sound barrier went in as well, and he's, again, like you say, it just doesn't offer much. Ihan got himself that Dragon Blade ready, waited to go if they even need it, which he doesn't feel they do. Dean gets picked off around the side. There's the Dragon Blade, just to really seal the deal. 92% and counted. This is going to be 100-0. There is not a great deal Lunatic can offer in this fight. Their 4-tank strategy, starting off, simply backfired to Afreeca Freecs' Blues' aggression.
What a beautiful way to even up this series now. It's 2-1 over on this control map, and that means AF Blue keep it even here after a little bit of a sloppy start over on Gibraltar. Really weren't looking like themselves, but they look very, very good when they're allowed to play Ihan on that Genji. They were prevented from doing that the first map, but right here, he looked very, very good. And that claim of top Genji may not be too far from Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. He absolutely nailed it. I mean, he had the ulti built up after the first fight. That is just about perfect you can hope for. Managed to get the dash, I think, through 4 people right at the start, which is always going to give you bonus damage as well. So
ridiculous.
Oh, very good. Of course, it was just best of 3 in the control point maps 4 here in Intel Extreme Masters. We are following the OGN rule set, which they use at Apex. So it is the same rule set, which means it is all over on Ilios. Moving on to Hanamura. And finally, Mitch, we're not going to see a 3-0 clean sweep.
No, that's right. Finally got some games going, Lee. That's exactly what we wanted. And what a better matchup to see that in against 2 teams, even though from the same region, running in the same circles, have never played each other in a tournament game. And that's, you can see them just trying to get a feel for each other now. And
arguably the 2 top streams from in this region as well.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, the Lunatic High obviously fell out earlier than they should have in the Apex bracket.
Surprisingly, to be honest.
Yeah, and then we saw AF League go through, and honestly, they got put in the trash can by Envious. It wasn't a pretty series at all. But let's have a look at some of the highlights from that previous game. We'll be back after the break with more.